All right, what's up, everybody? I'm back for another weekly glucose weekly update, and I missed last week. Going into the week, I'm going to Connecticut, and the week before that, it was week 68. Week 68, and yeah, like I said, I just got back from Connecticut, and man, I tell you that when you're not at home and when you're not eating like you should, and it's kind of hard, and I understand it's kind of hard to maintain your blood sugar when you go out of town. Especially in my case, I went out of town for work, so it's not really a lot of food that you can. Well, I ain't gonna say you can't eat. The only way you can truly get good healthy food when you going out of town is just go grocery shopping. No, I didn't go grocery shopping. The hotel we were staying in didn't have um, kitchenettes and all that stuff. So I just kind of roll with whatever the company was buying, dinner or lunch that particular day or whatever. So I just kind of roll with that and just kind of ate as little bit as I could and just roll with that. And I'm back home, and it was a good week last week as far as going out of town for work. But my numbers for the first time in a long time. My numbers for this week just passed was really bad. And I'm glad I'm home now because I can maintain my numbers better when I'm at home because everything I'm eating at home is grocery. We grocery shop and everything is cooked. And yeah, but my numbers for week 68, which was Monday, August the 8th. Now that week was okay, but it could have been way better. And the week before that, my average for that week, it was week 67. That week was 101. That was week 67. Week 68, my numbers dropped down 18 points, and I missed my 313 by 5 points because it was 119 the previous week. And yeah, I'm gonna put these numbers up, let you see them. And I'm not going to really talk about the day-to-day numbers, and I'm just going to talk about the weekly numbers, and because I'm putting those numbers up top anyway. But yeah, week 60, 67, yeah, I had 101. That was a good week. Come back week 68, it was the week before Connecticut. It dropped down 8 points. It was 119 for the week, and then this week in Connecticut, it was bad, 37. That's for the week. And like I said, I'm gonna put these numbers up, let you see them. But week 69, man, that was a bad week. And this is what I'm saying. When you going through this whole diabetes reversal transition, from week to week, your numbers you're gonna struggle during the week. That's natural. That's totally natural. And that's why I say it's a lot harder than people think to maintain blood sugar. But you got to stay in the game. You got to stay in the game. And like my video I put out last week about this 14-day sugar challenge, man, that ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna go back over that again. But you need years to get them sugars down, man. When I say years, I'm gonna say two. No, no. So to actually see actual numbers go down, A1C down, man, you need a year. You need a year. So, but like I say, man, I'm not gonna stay too long in this video. I'm gonna post a lot of these numbers up so you can see them. But them numbers, man, for this week 69, last week in Connecticut, terrible. I ain't gonna even lie to you, terrible. And I did my best to eat as healthy as I could, but it wasn't good enough, But like I say, I'm back at home. I'm back in my safe space where I know I really can control my food and my blood sugar here because I know all the food is being cooked. I'm eating my protein. I'm eating my low carb foods. I'm doing all that. My good fats, all that stuff. I really my numbers really went down the tank last week in Connecticut, and I'm gonna have to find a way to do better because we have our cruise coming up in December, and I'm gonna have to find a way on this cruise, man, to keep my numbers down. I think I can. I think I can do it better on the ship because on the ship they have a lot more varieties of stuff that you can eat and keep you and eat in your try to stay in your low carb range. The cruise we did back in December, it was pretty good. Matter of fact, let me go back and try to find that week we went on a cruise, and that week was pretty good. It was December of last year. I got it noted here. It was in December. Let me go on down. Okay, December. Is it here? Okay, it was week when we went on our cruise. It was week 34, December 9th through December the 16th of 2024. And that week, and still wasn't bad. It was this week here in December of 24 is better than this week that I just got out of, which was 69. And that week on the ship, I end up with a weekly average of 126. 126. And that was our first time on a ship. And we didn't even explore the ship like we should have. Because I could have found a lot more better food to eat. And I think I found that better food to eat later on that week on the ship. I think it was around about Friday once I really figured out, because they got a lot of places to eat. So that week 34 of December 2024, that week was on the cruise ship. It was 126. 126 versus just this past week. And like I said, it was terrible. Terrible. I haven't finished with 137 since I started this thing. Almost 2.5 years ago, going on 3 years. That's the worst week I ever had since I started this thing. I ever had 137 for the week. That is the worst. But I'm gonna take that as a good sign because that was the first time since I started this, keeping my whole average. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a date when I started my new average, this average weekly thing. I started my average, keeping up with my average, April 2022. April 22, December 2023. I started doing that in 23. April 2023 is when I started that. Yep. Let me see. Was it 23? No, I think that was 24. Yeah, that was 24. That was April 2024 is when I actually really started tracking my numbers. And just going down through here, that 137, that is the worst month I ever had. I'm scrolling down right now. I know y'all can't see them, but even week 25, I ended the week at 121, and that was week 25. But they're still, considered good. But yeah, 121. Then we go on to the second. Yeah, 126. That's another bad one. And that's the worst one. What's 137? That's the worst one. The top one. Then I had another one which was like 126, but that was later on when I started tracking my glucose, weekly glucose. And I tell you, man, that 137. I'm gonna keep saying, man, that 137 is the worst one. And like I said, I'm back in my safe space at home. I can totally control this whole thing from home. I know I can. This is why I know I can get it down. Monday, I'm just gonna go and give y'all this number for today because I did check. Because I check my glucose number every morning. That's my fasting glucose. It was 126, so it was right there on the borderline, 126. But it will start going down from here. And that 126, I'm still in the green. It's right there on the cutoff, but it's still okay, but it's in the green. So, but like I said, this is the week 68 and week 69, and going up, leading up to like Connecticut. So, like I said, I'm back at home. Good to be back at home, back on the ground, and I will see y'all next week with another weekly update.